o'clock, so we can get started. So welcome, everybody, to the Town of Orangetown Town Board meeting of April 21, 2026. It is so nice to see such a big crowd. I wonder what it could all be about. You girls know what it could possibly be about? Okay, we'll start with attendance.
Councilman Paul Valentine.
Here.
Councilman Jerry Batari.
Here.
Councilman Brian Donahue.
Here.
Councilman Dan Sullivan.
Here.
Supervisor Teresa Kenny.
Here, and we're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So we have a couple of quick announcements. We have the Pearl River Farmers Market is going to be starting up on Saturday, May 9th at the Central Avenue Field. It's going to be from 10 to 2, and actually the first day, May 9th, there's also going to be a food truck festival. So for those who made it last year, it was a really good time. So that's from 12 to 5 the same day. We have the Golden Gala, which is for our seniors, the Orangetown residents 60 and older. It's on May 14th. It's basically, we call it our prom for seniors. So everyone's invited. It's $30 a person, and it's at the Rockland GAA. On May 19th, we're going to be having a town board presentation of a project. It's called Sidetrack Properties, and it's a proposed residential development at the corner of West Jefferson Avenue and Main Street in Pearl River. So if anybody's interested, it's just going to be a presentation by the applicant. And now, for I think the moment we've been waiting for, we have to honor some very impressive young women. We have the Tappan Zee Girls Basketball 2026 Class A Girls Basketball State Champions. Girls, stand up. We do have certificates for you girls. So I'm going to call you, and if you just want to come up to add it to all your other certificates. We have Emma McHugh. Eva Girardi. Alyssa Sanchez. Devin Cunney. Neve Donnelly, Ella Pagels, Adriana Diorio, Abby Walsh, Jody Long, Maureen O'Donnell, Addie Zayak, Bridget Linehan, Zaria Desir, Lily Lennon, Savannah Nordstrom, and we have for the head coach, Riley Shavrir. Assistant coaches, Sarah Kukla, Daryl Flynn. Student manager, Kelly Kukla. Athletic secretary, Pam Pape. I said it right. Athletic director, Bill Pilla. Principal, Melissa Luciano. And we have one for Superintendent, Dr. Brian Coulon. Yeah, I said it. I don't do it, whatever. So I just want to tell you girls, I mean, I know your heads are probably getting so big because you've heard already, but you really made our community so proud. It's really quite an achievement. And I'm looking here and I'm saying, am I seeing this right? Do we have somebody who's in 8th grade? Two. Oh, boy, so I hate to tell you, girls, you have a lot of stress now because you got to keep doing it year after year. So anyway, so we're so proud of you. This is just a small token of our appreciation. You girls should all be proud of yourselves, and we look forward to doing this again next year.
Thank you so much for the recognition and for having us. This has been such a special year for the girls on the team, for myself and the coaches, to not only win and make a big statement up in Troy against a really, really tough Final Four, but to bring all of this back to the community. It's really special to live here. I said this earlier, but I coach at the high school, I teach there, and I live right over on Dutch Hollow Drive, so I'm really grateful to raise my family here, and this community is something special, the way that it continuously supports the sports and the schools. So thank you so much for the recognition. I don't know that this feeling ever gets old, no matter how many times we keep celebrating it. So thank you to the board, and thank you to all the community members that have supported us throughout the year.
As much as I'm sure you want to stay for the meeting, I will give it, we'll wait a minute here in case anybody wants to leave. They're free to leave. They don't have to sit through the.
Probably never heard a professor say that.
I know, right? That's his, oh, I guess it's his grand. Almost.
Not horseshoes. No river is it? No river in Cascades. The river is always good. When the rain is there, the river always has a good horseshoe.
I thought we did this.
Now, Buckley just left the girls and went over to the boys, yeah. He had a kid that's going to Clemson. Yeah, there's a girl that's going to Clemson, yeah. Oh, is that who it is?
Okay, look how quiet that got. Okay, so we're going to continue. We have just one discussion item. For many of you, you may have heard about the Rockland County Legislature taking some action to, I guess the best way for me to describe it is to water down their licensing requirements for home contractors. So it's something that had been in the news and we had heard about it and we had kind of started talking about it ahead of time. And we wanted to wait to see what actually came out of it. But we did decide as a board that we are going to enact our own local law so that any of the watering down elsewhere in the county can stay elsewhere in the county, and we are going to keep the standards that we expect of our contractors that are doing work in the town. So some of us, we're very fortunate. We had just recently hired as a legislative aide Tom Divney, who you may recall was a town board member, and he's an attorney, and so he had started working. And he was the perfect guy to work on the law. So he jumped right in. He did present a law to us. Unfortunately, it just came this afternoon, and I have not had a chance to read it, and I know some of the other boards haven't. So we're going to act very fast on this because, you know, we don't want, whatever they're trying to attain up in the county and elsewhere in the town, we don't want it here. So we are working on that. We're hoping to have, for the next meeting, be able to set the public hearing date and get that law passed as quick as we can. So, Rob, you have anything to add? I know you read it. I didn't have a chance to.
Yes, Tom and I met earlier this afternoon. Again, he has some experience with it because of being up at the county legislature, so we compared the laws, and it's, you know, it's, we'll, a couple of tweaks and it'll be ready to go and set the public hearing. But it, you know, again, Tom explained it to me, the county one, and I read it, and it was, he's right in his assessment of it, of the county law. I agree, and I think the law that this board will consider, I think, will help, at
Right,
least
to
in
address the issue.
Orangetown, certainly.
Yep.
So,
Okay.
thank you, Tom, for
Okay.
putting that together.
No, I don't know. Tom, you have something to say, or does we can just wait till we make, when we present it next meeting, whatever.
I mean, the bottom line is that the law they passed has really got.
Yeah, you probably should use the mic, because what happens is people at home and on Facebook can't hear you, so.
Rob and I went over the law today, and the law they passed really guts the licensing requirements in Rockland County. I think if you can post a bond and just give some basic, you know, information to the county, they're going to give you a license. I can get a license. I can't even put Lincoln Logs together, but I can get a license, and then I can hire a contractor who can sub it out to unlicensed contractors. And you're going to see that happen throughout the county. And it's just, you know, it's the dumbing down of the requirements, no oversight. It's going to be bad for the residents of Orangetown, the county of Rockland. You're going to have, someone's going to die because they're going to have people doing, if you have someone who doesn't know what he's doing and he's getting licensed because he can post a bond, I'm sure he's going to be hiring people that, you know, are unqualified to do electric or pools or plumbing or something that really needs expertise. And they're just selling us out. And, you know, I called Teresa the next day, and she was on board. I talked to Paul. He was on board. We, you know, that night after we voted on the law, I went to bed. I woke up at 2, and I started, you know, just doing the research. And, you know, thank God in Orangetown we take this seriously. I'm sure once we pass it, you'll have Clarkstown and hopefully Stony Point, maybe Haverstraw. We know Ramapo's not following suit, but Rob and I did a review today, and I'm hopeful that this will be ready to set a public hearing, and then we can make sure we still have, you know, licensed home improvement contractors in the town of Orangetown.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tom.
And by the way, there's no overtime for that 2 o'clock in the morning, you waking up worrying about home improvements.
So,
yeah.
you have to scratch your head and wonder why you would lessen requirements on building a home or cutting a tree or doing asphalt. Like, who does that benefit? And it doesn't benefit the residents of Orangetown, that's what I can tell you. I mean, safety should be paramount, and that's the main job of the government, right, is to protect its citizens. It's hard enough to get good qualified contractors without eliminating basic requirements and saying, hey, you could basically buy a home improvement license by paying for a bond. I mean, who would support that? So I was totally shocked that this actually passed, especially by a 14-to-1 vote, because it doesn't at all help the residents of Orangetown, never mind the county of Rockland. They didn't stop there. They also made some slight changes to the electrical licensing law. They reduced the requirements for the amount of years you need to take the master electrician's license from 7.5 to 6.5, and they changed the test from a closed book test to an open book test. Again, who does that benefit? It benefits the people who couldn't pass the test. Well, if you couldn't pass the test, you probably shouldn't be in the business doing electrical work or home improvement or plumbing. So I think this is the tip of the iceberg, and they're going to go after the other licenses also, and it's not to benefit the residents of Orangetown. It's not to benefit the residents of Rockland County, except for one specific set of people who couldn't pass the test. So I'm very much behind this. Tom did a great job writing a draft of the law, and we're going to review it and make sure it gets voted on quickly.
Okay. Anybody else? No? Okay. So we're going to workshop our agenda items, and then we'll go to the public portion. So we have item number 3 is establishing the farmer's market. This is, we have to do this every year. It's basically our license agreement with the operator of the farmer's market. Number 4, we're changing the date of the police commission meeting from May 5th to May 19th next month. I'm not going to be here May 5th, so I think they decided they would do the presentations on the 19th. Number 5, approve the retainer agreement with Hodges, Walsh, and Burke. This is a litigation matter regarding our police department. So I think we've worked with them before. They're very good attorneys, so I know we're all good with bringing them on. The bonding resolution. So this is all, just to be clear, this is what we've talked about for the bonding. So we have to break them out into different resolutions. So they all have to do with the bond. I don't know, Jeff, do you want to say anything?
No, it's exactly what you approved, but it's broken down based on useful life of whatever we're doing, so that the investors can trade through tranches and then sell them off. So the only one that's different is really the sewer, which has to have its public hearing. So we're going to review the notice of the public hearing. That has to be published within 10 to 20 days
Right.
after.
So that's 6. We're rescinding the resolution because we're off with the timing for the publication, so we have to redo it, right? That's 6, right? So then we have, again, number 7, you'll see the number there's the 2.129, and that's again for the sewer district. Number 8 is, you see, so breaking down by the IT hardware trailer for the Department of Parks. So that one is for much less than the sewer department. And then we have to vote on a roll call for all of these. I want to go through them. Number 9, authorizing, this is one of the big ones. Is this the golf course? Yes, golf course. $5.3 million for various improvements at the town golf courses. I presume most of this is the irrigation system. We're making a lot of golfers very happy. Number 10, a resolution authorizing the purchase of equipment for the Parks Department. So that's $240,000. Number 11 is authorizing construction of a maintenance building for the Parks Department and for the town of Orangetown at a maximum cost of $1 million. Number 12, a resolution authorizing the purchase and installation of traffic signals in and around the town for $475,000. Number 13, a resolution authorizing the purchase of equipment for the Highway Department. Again, that's at a maximum cost of $3 million. 14 is a resolution regarding some construction improvements to the Police Department. Number 15 is maximum, let's see who we got here. The reconstruction, oh, this is Jimmy. We got Jimmy Dean here. The reconstruction and resurfacing of roads, including sidewalks, curbs, gutters, drainage, landscaping, and other incidental improvements, $1,967,000. A lot of money. And I think that's it on the bonding resolutions. Okay, moving on, we have a tax certiorari settlement of 16 with the Pearl River ShopRite. We have number 17, approve the agreement for use of the South Orangetown Central School District pool. Our Parks uses the pool, and we have an agreement with them. Number 18, accept funding from Rockland County for Stop DWI enforcement. That's money to us. Then we have lend assistance. We have the Tappan Zee Girls Basketball Champion Parade, which we just had. Approve lend assistance to Rockland Solace Sunrise Suicide Prevention Walk on Saturday, June 6th. And then that is it. We have the audit and executive session. So on that, can I get a motion to open the public comment?
I make a motion to open the public comment.
Second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so just as a reminder, we have a 3-minute rule, and there's clocks posted all over the place. First person that signed up is Michael Holohan.
Michael Holohan, Tappan, New York. Good evening, Supervisor Kenny, town board members, and fellow residents. For those of you that don't know me, I am the organizer of the Field of Honor hosted for the past 5 years in the center of Tappan, a vision which was once created by Carol L. Shalene of Tappan, who passed September 1st, 2016. This event has been built over the years by this community. This event is not my event. It is not the Tappan's event. It is not the town's event. It is not the community's event. This is the community event, built and sustained by the community in honor of those who served our country, continue to serve in the armed forces, those first responders, and honorable members of this community. The reason I'm here tonight is as a member of this community is because upon first hearing about the parade route for the 250th anniversary of our country, it did not initially bother me until 2 to 3 weeks ago. I've received emails, letters, phone calls thanking me for putting this Field of Honor together, and I continue to say no thank you. This was for you. I say this tonight because I think the 250 Parade Coordination has forgotten about what it is about. Orangetown is rich in history, and we are bypassing a significant piece of history in this community with the current parade route. From George Washington's headquarters, the trial of Major Andre, the Orangetown resolutions, the old 76 House, Tappan Reformed Church, and many other historical significance to this community. But I must say, what upsets me the most is that we are bypassing something this community built, and specifically those honored in this community who have contributed to our country's history. I strongly request you reconsider the route that is currently in place from Dominican College to the Masonic grounds, passing minimal history that this town so proudly represents. I have heard comments regarding the train tracks in Tappan, which we have hosted Memorial Day Parade for many, many years without issue. The sheriff's horses can join before or after the tracks if that is a true concern. We need to really think about why we are celebrating the 250th anniversary of our country. And for those that are interested, the Field of Honor will be posted May 16th through July 18th for all to enjoy at the Tappan Manse Barn. Thank you for your support, and I appreciate further conversation.
Thank you. Next, I have Reverend Donald Hoover.
Greetings in the name of our Lord to the Town Council. Behind you is the seal of the town of Orangetown. And at the center of that seal, the words say, rich in history. The history of this town began when the Dutch first settled Orangetown in 1685 with the proclamation of the resolution of the town of Orangetown. And that resolution is the bedrock of the democracy that we enjoy to this very day. Democracy revolves around consensus and understanding of the place in history that not only our church represented, but our ancestors represented. And without them, we wouldn't have Orangetown. Without them who fought on the side of the American Revolution and whose men and some women died in regard to that effort of the American Revolution. And some were then temporarily interred on our grounds from the Baylor Massacre. And at the hospital that was in existence in our sanctuary represents the care and compassion that the people of Orangetown, because what most don't understand is most of those folks who were wounded and who died were in the homes of those who were members of our community. That history continued to this very day, and as Michael outlined in his letter, Michael and I worked together on the Field of Honor Commission, and we represent that history. Excuse me, I get choked up by the history a little bit. That history represents the depth of the care and the sacrifice that so many have made to establish Orangetown. Thank you.
Thank you. Jim O'Sullivan?
Thank you, Supervisor Kenny, and thank you, town board members, for considering having a home improvement contract license in the town of Orangetown. I also want to thank Tom Divney for being the only one who voted against the new rules at the county. I was up there last week, and it was like a railroading that came down that day, where they just had their minds made up and it was going through. And there was a lot of good contractors that were there and spoke up. Safety was my biggest thing. Safety comes in quite a number of ways to the homeowner, financially to the homeowner, more with their health and their well-being. The county I had a license with the county for 37 years, still have one, but I don't think it's worth much anymore. They vetted myself and a lot of other contractors. And then in turn, we'd vet our employees. And we hire reputable contractors to work at our own homes and our job sites. And we would never bring anyone around anyone's home that we thought wasn't the right person to bring around. This county has had some very horrible things happen to it over the years, including some very savage things in New City 20 years ago with a homeowner. It's had fires from faulty electrical work. Things can go bad fast. A lot of substandard workmanship that's going on now in this county, mostly in the Ramapo area. They're having great difficulty finding anyone to work for them. It was never built the right way. Their own contractors that build it don't even want to go back. So they're lowering the bar and lowering the bar to get anyone to do it. That's not the case in this town. It's always had a good building department. It's had good workmanship. You follow through, permits, everything's done right here. And it means a lot to me to keep this standard up. I'm raising my family here, you know, there's girls all around me. I got daughters everywhere. And I don't want people around my house that weren't vetted. And it's great that you guys are doing this, and I just want to thank everyone for what you're doing.
Thanks, Jim. Okay, that's the last person that signed up, but if anyone wants to speak, just raise your hand. We'll start over here. Barbara?
Hi, my name is Barbara Dello, and I'm from Blauvelt. So first, I wanted to thank, I guess it's the police department, but I was visiting my son in Pennsylvania, and I got a call from a friend who lives alone and who's sickly, and she said, I fell, and I need someone to help me. And, you know, can you come? And I said, well, I'm in Pennsylvania by Philadelphia. So I couldn't, but then I got off the phone and I said, what can I do? So I called the police department, and they told me they do wellness checks for people who are frail, who might be living alone. And I just want to thank them for going to my friend's house and getting her to the hospital, and for all the work they do in that regard. They're, you know, we know about our sports fields and all the wonderful things here, but you know, there are still some older people who are frail, and their needs are somewhat different, and so I wanted to thank you for that. And also for the American with Disabilities Act, because I spoke to my neurologist about how sometimes my speech is kind of jarring, which had to do with a traumatic brain injury I had. And he wrote a letter and said I can have 5 minutes to speak instead of 3 because of the American with Disabilities Act. But I don't have that much to say today. But I do want to thank very much Tom Divany for his work ensuring that the work here is safe. My daughter was one of the people who had a fire because of faulty electrical work. So it is important. But I wondered why. I mean, there's probably a lot of reasons why that bill came to be. But I've noticed the town kind of is developing in different directions. I had some people for dinner, and my husband was there and another fella who grew up here. And they started talking. You know, they were poor. You know, in those days they believed in corporal punishment. And they went on and on with these stories about climbing in the woods and picking berries. And it wasn't so much an expensive place to live. Now, the people coming today often are more upscale, and I don't know if their budgets are better than mine, but I think probably their expectations for the town are higher. And so I think it's a challenge for you guys that you have to kind of serve the needs of both populations. Those who really want a fancy town with upscale and a lot of services, and those who are, you know, really have to count their pennies. So I wanted to say that. And then I wanted to say, also, in terms of building, with, we noticed over the past, I don't know, 10, 15 years, that when you want to do anything, you have to get a permit for. The fees have gotten very high. So it can be a considerable cost. And again, that affects more those who are counting their pennies. So thank you. Again, thank you for all the good work you do. And that's it for now. I don't even think I used my whole 5 minutes.
I saw a hand.
Hi, I'm Barbara Meyer from Palisades, and just another person who wants to say thank you very much. I'm a homeowner. I don't have anything to do with being married to a contractor. I'm only the person who signs the checks after they do their work. We are about to go through a lot of building in Orangetown. There's just so many big projects, which we all know about, coming down the pike, and we have to remain strong. And we as a community have to be really aware of people who are coming into our town, and I'm not bringing out any violins if they can't afford to do the work correctly. Because we live here, we're the ones who are going to have the legacy of this town. You guys really, and Tom, I can't thank you enough for really standing up against people who don't want to do the right thing. And it's not our job to make money for other people. It's our job to live here as a community. You guys are brave and courageous, and thank you as a homeowner.
Thank you, Barbara.
Hi, I'm Seta Tunnell from Palisades, and I actually have 2 questions and a comment. First of all, to Tom, and I don't know if he can answer this, but why were you the only person that voted against it, and what was the conversation with the others?
I don't think that's really appropriate for here.
Okay,
I mean,
I think as a community, we would like.
You can talk to him afterwards or something.
Okay,
but
but we would like to know those answers. And then the second thing that I have is, what can you guys do? Because this is a symptom of a larger problem. All right, so what can you guys do, Orangetown, to stop this from progressing? Because it seems to me that the legislators up in Clarkstown are either bought out, there's something going on, and a lot of people feel that. And then, I'm open for comments. I'd love to hear back some sort of feedback as to what capabilities you might have. And then I'd also because when we are up by the legislature, we say what we want to say. They know what they're going to do, and it seems like we're not being represented. Is there any sort of forum where it could actually be a town hall where we can address you and you can respond to us? Because besides that, We're just going by what you guys are saying. But you guys, I mean the universal you guys. And I think it would be important for the taxpayers and the citizens to have some sort of back and forth and actually know what you stand for and what you want to do, rather than headlines, things that sound good, whatever it is, so that we have some sort of confidence that whoever we vote for is actually representing us. So that's all I have to say.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else who wants to speak that hasn't had a chance to speak? Just put up your hand. Eileen?
Good evening, members of the board. I'm just quickly totaled up the amount of money that I believe has to go for a permissive referendum. Comes to over $13 million for the taxpayers. I guess it would come up in November for the vote. So I think between now and then, there should be an explanation as to the tax impact on it. People I know, I have neighbors that have used the golf course, and recently they did make comments about the condition of it. I don't know if that company we hired years ago is still there. I don't know. It's a blank to me. But anyway, these items are subject to a permissive referendum, and what happens if the people vote it down? This is a long-range way of thinking and answering the public as to why you need the certain things. About the law, about the accreditation for electricians and plumbers, where was I going with that one? The law you pass tonight will be confirmation of the existing laws we have here in Orangetown, as far as having to go before the planning board if you're having a home or commercial site being built. I live in Palisades, and before us, which is going to affect the whole town eventually if H&A gets developed for many, many condos, what have you. Whoever owns that property, will they then, if you do pass the law that you want to, be subject to the laws that we have in place for them? Because it'll be a major building site, and they can hire any Tom, Dick, and Harry if they subcontract. So I guess that would be my concern as a resident of Palisades. What will be the end of whatever law you're passing now or revising? Will that strongly say to the developers, you cannot vet people that you would not have work on your own home? The gentleman that spoke before spoke very clearly about this vetting out. Because I had an incident at my house, and I turned the people away because I was very concerned about the approached look that I got from two people. And I just said, well, I think I changed my mind. And that was a subcontracting thing. I don't want to say what it was. But anyway, as we go along, enjoy the summer, enjoy the cold weather.
Anybody else that wants to speak that hasn't had an opportunity to speak yet?
Anybody else?
Sure.
Hang on.
Good evening. My name is John Ferguson. Friends with Jimmy O'Sullivan. Jimmy had asked me to come down tonight. I've sat on the Consumer Protection Agency board for 14 years, and I'm disgusted what took place last week. It's been going on now for a few years behind the scenes, Consumer Protection did a lot of good for the county. I mean, there were several jobs that I had to inspect over here in Orangeburg, retaining walls that fell down, and you were able to get money back for the consumer. All that's going to be going away. There was a lot of good with consumer protection, and the legislators are going to be the ones that are going to have the deciding factor who gets a license and who doesn't get a license, what qualifications do they have, it all comes down to how do you say it? As the religious community has grown over the years, more and more come down. They're looking for general contractor's license. They're not qualified. You ask them what experience they have. They tell you that They worked at their grandfather's homes up in Wurtsboro, New York. What did you do? I changed locks on the doors, replaced screens in the windows. So they get turned down. There are people from the religious community that have the experience and get their licenses, and it's not religious or not religious. It's wasn't based upon skin color or religion. And, you know, again, I'm very discouraged what took place because, again, I devoted 14 years of my life, and it's going to be the wild, wild west if this ends up going through. I guess Ed Day has the final vote if he's going to veto it or not. But there was a lot of good to consumer protection, and that's why I was on it for all the years, all the value that I got from helping a consumer when a contractor took their money and didn't do the work, or a job fell, you know, a retaining wall that was put up, no permits, falls down, and consumer protection was the only recourse that a homeowner had. We used the license, and I'm not saying every homeowner was always correct, but the license was used as leverage to get the contractor to make good on what he should have done to begin with. So, you know, I don't know if, you know, again, what's going to happen in the future, but it's a numbers game, and it's eventually going to, you know, take over the entire county. I mean, if this goes through, it's going to affect Orangeburg. You're going to have unlicensed contractors. You know, the person who has their contract license is not going to need to hire licensed subcontractors. So you're going to have people coming from all over the borders. You know, it's going to happen here in Orangeburg. I mean, so that's basically why, you know, I had to say I'm unprepared. So I'm just throwing this out there that it doesn't look good.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Oh, we have 3 minutes.
I'd like to thank everyone for the kind words, but as far as Orangetown, this board is great. And as luck would have it, they hired me last week to help out with issues such as this. But, you know I look at Brian, Jerry, Teresa, Dan, and Paul, and if they were up there, they would have voted no, just like I did. Like, when Mayor Adams wanted to send, you know, people in New York who were not supposed to be here up to Orange County, it was these people who came out, and we made sure they didn't. So, you know, I wrote the law, but that was what I was hired to do. The board was smart enough to hire me, so let's give them some credit for that. But, you know, the fact is that they all jumped on this. They all jumped on this immediately. And you know, that's why Orangetown's the best town to live in. They know, I know, that this is a bad law, and they're going to get it passed, and it's going to hopefully give us a lot of protection in the town of Orangetown.
Hi, my name's Dorian Tennell. I just received a text from a local inspector asking me to ask the board if they would be willing to write a letter to Ed Day stating that they are not in favor of the law that was passed, signed by Orangetown.
I would have no problem with that at all. I think it's
That's a local inspector, and that's one. I've been speaking to many, and we're all on the same page.
Okay.
That's all. Thank you.
Anybody else? Joyce? Okay, can I get a motion to close?
I'll make a motion to close.
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Do you want to address any?
I am going to try to address Mike Callahan and his, you know, the parade route dilemma that's been going on for several months. So I think I want to start by, Mike pointed out that, you know, that the Field of Honor is a community project, event. And that's what the 250-year parade is. We have all the fire departments, with the exception of Piermont, are participating. In fact, Blauvelt donated $5,000 towards the event. It involves all the people from all of the hamlets, the villages. We really made an effort to make it a widespread community event. A committee was formed, and they looked at many routes for the parade. And there was concerns with the train track. I mean, and it's not that hard to really grasp what the concern could be, but, you know, I understand you guys have a Memorial Day parade, but this is going to be a much larger parade. And I honestly, you know, was evaluating it myself for what that's worth. What do I know about parades? But when a couple of weeks ago I got stuck behind a parade, behind a train, and I was there a good 10 to 15 minutes waiting for that train to pass. I've heard different things. The train, well, you could work with the train people. You know, people say you can't work with the train people. They tell you they're not going to come, they're going to come. So I know that many in Tappan want the parade to end in downtown parade. You know, Mike and I had I guess he's still here somewhere. We had a nice conversation last weekend, and I thought we had come up with a great solution to really make downtown part of the event. So I was at the cleanup last weekend without any of you people there, and we cleaned up along Greenbush Road from like the church to the back of the campground. And it's really, I didn't realize it at that point, but it's only like a quarter of a mile, I think. So we actually started talking already about closing the road down, making it a part of the event, that we would have maps, we could put directional things up, and direct people to walk down on their own down to downtown, to the historic Tappan. So I kind of thought we found the good compromise. I mean, I think it's going to be a lot of people. I think parking downtown in Tappan is going to be a problem. But we did have a committee, and they looked at it, and ultimately a parade route was decided. So I'm not inclined to upend everything that's been done already, but I think if we work together, like we always do, we could come up with a way to make it work for everybody. And like I said, we're going to have a journal. We'll put something in there. We'll have maps for people. We could even have, you know, highlights in downtown where they should go, what to see. I think that's a good compromise. I don't know, anybody else got any thoughts about the parade?
I hear exactly what Mike's saying, and I agree that that is rich in history, but there has been a committee working on this for several months. And normally, like with the Traffic Advisory Committee, if you want to change, you first go to the committee, and we had no input, at least me personally, had no
Unless you're on the
input
committee.
in this parade because I'm not on the committee. So the first I'm hearing about the parade route not going where some people would like is tonight. I suggest you go, the committee meets, from what I understand, quite often, once or twice a week, every week. And there was a lot of people at the thing on Saturdays, and there's a lot of people on that committee. I think your first best bet would be to, you know, first go to the committee.
Well, I don't want to
they've been
go
working
there.
on
I
it
think the
very
committee's
hard.
worked on it. It's done. I mean, I don't want to give.
I'm just saying, we really had no input in the parade at all, other than,
I mean, I think it's going to be a lot of
approving
people. You're going to have you know, whatever. A lot of things were looked at, but again, I thought we could come up with something that was a compromise, which is, you're not happy, we're not happy, we're all happy.
And I'll say this, not to undermine the work that the committee's done. Obviously, the cart's pretty far down the path right now. But I was at the bicentennial celebration. I happened to be, I think I just turned 3. I was a month past 3. So I remember getting pushed down the street of Oak Tree Road. Oak Tree Road, Livingston Road was all closed. All of downtown Tappan was closed. And that was the bicentennial. So I understand that there are traffic issues, there's train issues, but something did happen. You know, I think I was 3, and they reenacted the hanging of Major John Andre because the tree was still there. But I just do recall that day. It was, right, I think I was traumatized at the age of 3. But I just do remember that sunny day and getting pushed down all the way down Oak Tree Road. I think there was a soccer game up the road that we had just finished at the elementary school, and we went down. I mean, obviously, my memory is quite vague. I was getting pushed by a couple of cousins, but, you know, it was a really nice day, and it somehow they made it work. And, you know, like Paul said, I didn't hear about the parade route until just recently, so it's, I don't know. And again, I don't want to undermine what the committee, all the work that's been done, but there should be something else added to try to bring back that history from the DeWitt House.
And you know, we did get your letter, Rich, and well-written, and I agree that what you guys do in Tapan is incredible for the veterans, for Memorial Day, for the memory of the veterans who fought and protected this country, and the reason we're having this 250th parade. I agree with you 100% on that, so hopefully we can come to some kind of compromise. But thank you for bringing it to our attention, and I'll definitely talk to the committee and, you know, with Teresa and see if we can come up with something that, somehow to include it. There has to be a way, right? So we should be able to come up with something, because this, again, is a community event for all of our community. And you make a good point. We are rich in history, and a lot of the history is right in the heart of Tapan. So.
Anybody else?
No, I agree. I think that, again, it was brought to my attention by some friends I have, and I knew that there was a committee going on, and I knew things were happening. Did not know I know the route, I believe it changed. It was coming up from Sparkillet, right? And then it
Well, that
changed
was
to
looked
something
at.
else.
That was
So,
looked at, too.
But not there, and I do think that we would be remiss if we didn't somehow do something down in Tapan with all the rich history that is particularly in that area. So maybe you guys can get together with a committee meeting and see what can be done.
So this is the first time that I'm hearing about the parade route. But to talk about Tom Divney and drafting this law, and somebody had just asked if we would sign something for Ed Day, I think the fact that we are talking about the law and we're probably going to pass the law probably says it all. So anyone who's dealt with our building department, code enforcement, we take very seriously. But I'm not a contractor, but I'm just baffled. And I'm sure there are unlicensed contractors doing work, but the fact that we're actually going to encourage it, or the county's going to encourage it, is mind-boggling. So rest assured, this board will continue to work hard and protect Orangetown. So thank you, Tom.
Seta, just to answer a couple of your questions. The only thing this board can do is protect our town. We can't protect the county legislature, we can't protect the rest of the county, but we can protect our town, and that's what we're trying to do with passing this law. The major part of the input on this law can come during the public hearings. You can't just pass a law willy-nilly and not have public input. There are requirements by law where the public will have input into the final draft of the law. Once the draft is approved by the board and the town attorney, it will be posted on the website so that everybody can read it. And if you want to come prepared to that public hearing for the draft of the law, we more than welcome you, and we welcome your input. You can send us an email, like Rich did about the parade route today and about the law, and we'll definitely take it into consideration. Frustrating for us too, because I think the deal was, I think the minds were made up, I should say that, well before. And, you know, we were hoping for a different outcome, because now it puts us into a position where we have to basically start home improvement licenses here in Orangetown. And we shouldn't be in that position. The county, you know, if they wanted to tweak something, they could have tweaked it, but to make it irrelevant to have qualifications and all you got to do is buy a license, to me is mind-boggling.
Okay.
Okay, we're going to move on to our agenda, because we did close the, we, I think they have a supermajority, so even if he does, right, Tom?
He has the ability to veto it. I don't think it's been in front of him yet, right, Tom? No, it hasn't been in front of Ed
I
yet.
heard it was.
And they have a supermajority. They can pass it anyways.
I think he's fine.
I would hope he would do that, but I wouldn't, I'm going to tell you something, Dorian, I wouldn't count on it.
I already signed it.
I agree, and we're going to send a letter up, because I think that was a good recommendation, but I wouldn't count on it.
Okay, we're going to move on to our agenda items, because we do have a long agenda. Okay, so the first agenda item is to establish a farmer's market, an agreement to establish a farmer's market from May 9th to November 21st of 2026. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Can I get a motion to change the date of the police commission meeting from May 5th to May 19th? Motion?
Motion to change.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Can I get a motion to approve the retainer agreement with Hodges, Walsh, and Burke and Forrest related to the litigation matter referenced there? Motion?
I make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, bonding resolution. Can I get a motion to rescind Resolution 2026-166, the public hearing of April 21st at 7:05? Motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, order calling for a public hearing for May 5th, 2026, in the matters of increasing and improvement of the sewer district. Motion? Oh, roll call, never mind.
Roll call.
I went too quick. Okay, we need motion and a second, so can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Okay,
Roll call.
Councilman Paul Valentine.
Yes.
Councilman Jerry Batari.
Yes.
Councilman Brian Donahue.
Yes.
Councilman Dan Sullivan.
Yes.
Supervisor Teresa Kenny.
yes. Moving on, number 8, a resolution authorizing the issuance of $83,000 in bonds, again, for purchase of IT hardware and the purchase of a trailer for the Parks Department.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Okay, roll call. So ridiculous.
Councilman Paul Valentine.
Yes.
Councilman Jerry Batari.
Yes.
Councilman Brian Donahue.
Yes.
What was that? Yes?
He
No?
said yes.
Oh.
I said yes, sorry.
It sounded like he sneezed.
Councilman Dan Sullivan.
Yes.
Supervisor Teresa Kenny.
Resolution number 9, resolution authorizing various improvements. Again, this is at the golf course for estimated cost of $5.3 million. Motion?
I make a motion.
Second.
And on a roll call?
Councilman Paul Valentine.
Yes.
Councilman Jerry Batari.
Yes.
Councilman Brian Donahue.
Yes.
Councilman Dan Sullivan.
Yes.
Supervisor Teresa Kenny.
Yes. Resolution number 10, can I get a motion to pass a resolution authorizing the purchase of equipment for the Parks Department at a maximum cost of $240,000?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Councilman Paul Valentine.
Yes.
Councilman Jerry Batari.
Yes.
Councilman Brian Donahue.
Yes.
Councilman Dan Sullivan.
Yes.
Supervisor Teresa Kenny.
Yes. Resolution number 11, a resolution authorizing the construction of a maintenance building for the Parks Department at a maximum estimated cost of $1 million. Motion?
I make a motion.
Second?
Second.
Councilman Dan, sorry. Councilman Paul Valentine.
Yes.
Councilman Jerry Batari.
Yes.
Councilman Brian Donahue.
Yes.
What was that?
Yes.
Councilman Dan Sullivan.
Yes.
Supervisor Teresa Kenny.
Yes. Resolution number 12, A resolution authorizing the purchase and installation of traffic signals in Rockland County at a cost of $475,000. Motion?
Motion?
Second?
Second.
Councilman Paul Valentine,
Yes.
Councilman Jerry Batari,
Yes.
Councilman Brian Donahue,
Yes.
Councilman Dan Sullivan,
Yes.
Supervisor Teresa Kenny.
Yes. Resolution number 13, can I get a motion approving resolution authorizing the purchase of equipment for the Highway Department at a maximum cost of $3 million? Motion?
I make a motion.
Second?
Second.
Councilman Paul Valentine,
Yes.
Councilman Jerry Batari,
Yes.
Councilman Brian Donahue,
Yes.
Councilman Dan Sullivan,
Yes.
Supervisor Teresa Kenny.
Yes. Resolution number 14, resolution authorizing the construction improvements to the police department, not to exceed $400,000. Motion?
Motion.
Second?
I'll second.
Councilman Paul Valentine,
Yes.
Councilman Jerry Batari,
Yes.
Councilman Brian Donahue,
Yes.
Councilman Dan Sullivan,
Yes.
Supervisor Teresa Kenny.
Yes. Number 15, a resolution authorizing the reconstruction and resurfacing of roads in and for the town of Orangetown, again, at a maximum estimated cost of $1.967 million. Motion?
I make a motion.
Second?
Second.
Councilman Paul Valentine,
Yes.
Councilman Jerry Batari,
Yes.
Councilman Brian Donahue,
Yes.
Councilman Dan Sullivan,
Yes.
Supervisor Teresa Kenny.
Yes. Okay, agenda item number 16, approve and authorize the town attorney to sign a settlement documents in the tax certiorari proceeding regarding the Pearl River ShopRite Association versus Orangetown. Motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Number 17, can I get a motion to approve the agreement with the South Orangetown Central School District for use of the pool at the middle school? Motion?
Motion approved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Number 18, accept funding from Rockland County for Stop DWI enforcement, a 3-year agreement at 10 per year for $30,000. Motion?
I make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Can I get a motion to lend assistance for the Tappan Zee Girls Basketball Champion Parade on Tuesday, April 21st?
Motion?
Second?
I'll second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any motion to lend assistance to the Rockland Solace Sunrise Suicide Prevention Walk on Saturday, June 6th? Motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you.
Thanks, Joe.
Okay, the audit for tonight's meeting consists of 2 warrants for $3.9 million. Items of interest, number 3, Arthur Gallagher, $1.5 million for insurance renewals. Number 4, Capasso, $111,000 for recycling. Number 7, Global Montello, $58,000 for fuel. Number 9, Munis, $58,000 for finance software. Number 11, New York State Employee Health Insurance Program, $1.1 million for health care insurance. Number 12, O'Connor Davies, $82,000 for audit expenses. Number 14, She International, $36,000 for IT software. Number 16, Troon Golf, $223,000 for golf course maintenance contracts. And number 17, Virtuit Systems, $124,000 for IT upgrades, including patching, switches, firewall, storage, and monitoring. Any questions on the audit?
I just want to, number 11, the health insurance program. We do that once a month?
Yes. That's the entire healthcare cost for the entire town.
Do we have any idea on what next year is going to be?
My best guess would be about an 8% increase.
we'd all be aware of. Okay, can I get a motion to accept the audit?
I make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so we do have executive session to talk about personnel-related matters. Anything else? Do you have any litigation or anything you need to talk about? No, okay. So we don't have any adjournments in memory, which is always.
Good thing.
That's,
Great.
yeah, we haven't had one in a while, to be honest with you. So we are not going to be coming out to vote on anything, so can I get a motion to enter executive session?
Second.
All in favor?
Oh, the world is going in there.
What's the matter? Yeah. Now, I'm so excited about that, you have no idea.